तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति
Chapter 56-55. Sukeshvanuddhiknamanaः sukeshu vigatasthah vitaragabhayakrodhah chitadhirmuniruchyate yassarvasramnavisnehah तत्तत्राप्य शुभाशुभम् नाभिनन्दति न द्वेषी तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता यदा संहरते चायम् पूर्णोऽङ्गानीव सर्वशः इन्द्रियाणीन्द्रियार्थेभ्यः तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता विषया विधिवर्तन्ते निराहारस्य देहिनः रसवर्जं रसोऽप्यस्य परं दृष्ट्वा निवर्तते यततो ह्यपि कौन्तेय पुरुषस्य विपश्चितः इन्द्रियाणि समाधीनि हरन्ति प्रसभं मनः तानि सर्वाणि संयम्य युक्त आसीत मत्परः वशे हि यस्येन्द्रियाणि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता ध्यायतो विषयान् पुंसः सङ्गस्तेषुपजायते संगात् संजायते कामः कामात् क्रोधो विजायते क्रोधात् भवति सम्मोहः सम्मोहात् स्मृतिविभ्रमः स्मृतिभ्रंशात् बुद्धिनाशः बुद्धिनाशात् प्रणश्यति रागद्वेषवियुक्तैस्तु विषयानिन्द्रियैश्चरन् आत्मवश्यैर्विधेयात्मा प्रसादमधिगच्छति प्रसादे सर्वदुःखानां हानिरस्योपजायते प्रसन्नचेतसो व्याशु बुद्धिः पर्यवतिष्ठते।
Verse number 59. He says, the sense objects turn away from an abstinent man, but not the relish. Even his relish turns away on seeing the Supreme. The previous verse, he spoke about the tortoise withdrawing the senses and the mind whenever temptations threatens. Assume a person who is practicing all this. So a person having understood that, he is trying to practice withdrawal. What happens to that person? The sense objects turn away. Objects will no more be available. As long as a person is desiring the sense objects, the objects will appear. The moment he wants to move away, the objects will disappear. The object will disappear, but the relish inside will not go. The rasa, the relish will take up second. First is, what is the objects turning away from an abstinent man? when there is a sincerity in the effort to gain mastery over the objects will not come and tempt. It's the law. That's what he said. The objects will not come and tempt. You demanding that object, you wanting that object is what is driving you to that environment again and again and again. People talk about environment not being conducive for spiritual growth. How much ever I try, environment is not being conducive. He is saying, you are creating your environment, that environment you are in is because of your demand. Because you are still demanding that object. That's why you are there. The moment you start moving away, the sense objects will move away. But what will continue to remain? The rasa. The rasa will continue to remain. That is because of the past indulgences, the relish. So, two things. One is the availability of the objects and the environment. Second is the relish inside. So, first thing that he is saying is the relish will be there, for you have not yet transcended. Objects will not appear. A simple example. A person who is drinking, he has decided not to drink. All his drunkard friends will disappear. But he might go and drink once in a while. You follow the difference? The moment he has taken a resolve not to drink, that environment, that group will disappear. The environment disappearing this is the practical tip. The environment disappearing is an indicator whether you are making sincere effort or not. That's all he's saying. If the environment is still there, sir, it's tempting, it this, that, your effort have not yet become sincere. For sincerity in the effort, the object will disappear. Disappearance of the object will not take away the rasa, the lingering part. The lingering part is because of your past indulgences. So that past indulgences, every now and then, the senses will crave for that contact. The mind will crave for that contact. That is because of the past indulgences. But the moment there is a sincere effort, what disappears? The object will disappear. The relish part is easy to understand. The object disappearing part is slightly difficult to comprehend. What he says is a simple law of demand and supply. The object is there because you are demanding it. You are wanting it. If you are not wanting it, it will not be there. You don't see your wanting, but you see the presence of the object. You don't understand your wanting, but you only see the environment that you are in. From this you work backwards. You are in that environment because you are wanting that. That's why it is there. If you are not wanting it, it will disappear. But I don't want it, but it is still there haunting me. It doesn't work like that, he says. It doesn't happen like that. For the primary thing is your demand. To understand what the demand is, understand this example. What is this demand? Everyone, every human being feels a sense of void inside, a sense of emptiness inside, a sense of vacuum inside, a sense of void inside. Every human being. What are you trying to fill that void with? What are you trying to fill that void with? Void is you are experiencing. Emptiness is what is being experienced inside. What does a human being do to fill that? To fill that void, to fill that emptiness. Imagine an empty room. Imagine an empty room like this. You can fill this room up with garbage. You can fill up this room with full of chairs. You can go to Venkat's bank, empty his chest and fill up this room with the currencies. Or you can bring in 250 people and fill it up. You can bring a small light. You can bring a small lamp and fill the hall with the light also. But nevertheless, there is a vacuum, and what are you trying to fill that vacuum with is what you are demanding, and that's what will come to you. Are you able to follow? Most of the time, the vacuum we try to fill it up with garbage, with all the useless things. As a result of which, the objects keep coming to you. The beings keeps coming. What is known as the law of demand and supply. One way of filling the hall, empty hall, is you bring in a small light, and you can fill the hall with, and you can fill the hall with light also. Light is so subtle, still empty, but it is not. It's not empty. You follow? Most of the time, the human beings try to fill the vacuum with something, and that something is what you are demanding, and that's what keeps coming to you all the time. Or you will be in that environment only all the time. For that's what you are asking. That's what you are demanding. Now what has happened? A person having understood this, he wants to move away from, he wants to practice that control. When he is practicing that control, the basic complaint is, I am trying to practice control, but environment is not cooperating. Who said that? Environment is not cooperating. After 35 years, which environment will cooperate? Environment cooperation for the first week is okay. After 35 years also I am saying environment is not cooperating. You are not seeking that. You follow what I am saying? The basic complaint is environment is not cooperating. People around is not cooperating. So many other things are disturbing. Once all that is removed, even Gautam Buddha took longer time to attain self-realization, but I will attain it faster, much faster. For which he is saying here, if you are amongst the objects still, understand it. You are in demand of it. Your withdrawal is not sincere. If your withdrawal is sincere, it will not appear. The object will not appear. But what will happen is, you will still be chasing it. That is the relish. That is the relish. The object will not appear. For the object has said, you don't want me, I will not come and disturb you. The world will leave. The object will leave. But what you cannot get rid of is, what will come and disturb? The relish. The effect of the past indulgences, which is what he calls as the relish, the taste. That will linger. And that also disappears upon realization. Now that we will come to later. Understand the difference between the relish and the demand of the objects. Step number 1. You are in an environment because you have asked for it. If you have outgrown that, if you don't need it from the bottommost core, it will disappear. Is the law of demand and supply. It is there because you are wanting it. Therefore, what is proven here? Your withdrawal is not yet sincere. Your conviction on withdrawal is not yet strong enough. You are not yet convinced about the withdrawal. Therefore, what do? Go back to study, knowledge, understanding. All that is the answer for all that. Why the environment is still holding, or why a person is not able to wriggle himself out of the environment? It is because of the demand. It's because of the demand. The sense objects turn away from an abstinent man. The sense objects turn away from an abstinent man, but not the relish. Demand the higher so that the lower will leave. That's all. Demand the higher. The moment you demand the higher, the lower leaves. Sincerity is in not demanding the higher. Attraction is still to the, I don't say attraction, the demand is still to the lower only. For if the higher is, you demand the higher, the lower leaves. All that he is saying is how difficult it is to practice this withdrawal and control. It's not easy. It's not that easy. And from now on he is going to only talk about the indulgences, the control. To understand the control, understand this. If there is a problem at A level, the control has to happen from a higher level. If the body has to be controlled, you can't do something at the level of the body and control the body. It will not work. If there is a problem at the level of the mind, you can't do something at the level of the mind and control the mind. For the controlling factor is always the higher has to control the lower. You can't do something at the same level and control. If the senses are demanding, you can't do something at the level of the senses. For the law is this. In the presence of the higher, the lower behaves. This is the law. In the presence of the higher, the lower behaves. The absence of the higher is where the lower will have fun. Yeah, they will have fun time only in the absence of the higher. What is the higher in a human being? The light, the wisdom. That is the higher. In the absence of that, the lower will be powerful, dominating. If you make a sincere effort to gain that light, first thing is, the world will leave you alone. The world will stop disturbing. For you may not have the value for the higher. The inert objects has a value for the higher, I think. Yeah, that's why they are leaving you. Wow, this man is doing something great and noble. Why go on? Why go on disturb him? The objects also has a value for the higher more than the practitioner, I think. That's what he is saying. The objects will leave you, but not the relish. Controlling factor has to be sometimes in the schools, classrooms it happens, no? The teacher will not be there, so it will ask one student to monitor the class. Now, the student is also from the same level only. So one student cannot monitor the whole class. He can, if he turns this side, chalk pieces will fly at him from the other side. You understand? And he will say, I will complain about you, evening, you will come to play, no. At that time I will take care of you. Evening you will come to the playground, no. At that time I will take care of you. Control can never happen at the same level. It will not work. If mind is the problem, if emotions is the problem, you can't do something at the level of the emotion itself and try and govern it, control it. It's not possible. So it has to be done by the higher. For the law is this. Now if you are sincere to the higher, what will happen? Your mind will not cooperate, but the objects and beings around you will cooperate, he said. How they will cooperate? They will leave you. Correct? They will leave. But home attendrangle sir, yaro. No one is leaving. How much ever I am trying to push them out, they are not going. No, you are still in demand. This you will not agree. This you will say, no, you don't know how sincere I am. You don't know how genuine I am. I don't know about your genuinity or anything, but this is what Krishna is saying. The moment you are not demanding, it will leave. For they will start cooperating. What will not cooperate? Your own mind will not cooperate. Your own desires will not cooperate. To work on that is a different process altogether. That also he is going to say next. First thing he is setting the ground. If you are sincere, what will leave you? The disturbing objects and beings will leave you. Just as if you are not of the drinking type at all, when your friends go for a drinking party, they will never think of calling you. Or even if you go there, they will say, what they will say? This will not fit in for you. If you are receiving an invitation means, you are in demand. Okay? I never want any gossip, sir. People come and tell me and go. No one will come and tell you if you are not demanding. That's all he is saying. It's a simple law of demand and supply. It comes to you because you are attracting it. If you are not wanting it, it will leave you. For you have started to make sincere efforts. Since you have beginning to make sincere efforts, what will leave? The objects will leave. Objects leaving will happen. What will not happen? because of your relish, you will still continue to chase. Are you able to follow? Because of your relish, you will still continue to chase it once in a while, depending upon the intensity of the relish. You will chase it for the object. It's natural. Object and beings leaving is natural. Only in the case of a human being, we do not allow them to leave. For leaving is, holding on to is unnatural. Leaving is natural. If you look at life, if you look at all the species, if you look at the entire creation, 99.9% of the creation lives life by leaving, let go. Only a human being will not leave. Why? For his demand. For he is in demand of that. Instead of realizing that I am the one who is stuck to them, I come and complain. They are sticking and they are troubling. Whereas the law is, they don't want, maybe most of them it is true also, they don't want, but you go on unnecessarily, get inside. This is as far as the demand is concerned. What is relish? This is as far as the demand is concerned. What is relish? Sorry, solluங்க. பார்க்கலாம். Right. Swimming has to be learnt only to enter into water and be a perfect swimmer. Unless you are a perfect swimmer, how can you get into water? Unless you are a perfect swimmer, how can you get into water? And the tragedy is, by getting into water and drinking water for 3-4 times only, you will learn. Relish will be there because of what? Because of the past indulgences. Relish is because of the past indulgence. Object being around you is because of your demand. Relish makes you to chase them even. Relish will make you to chase them even. You will go and chase. Clear? America pona kuda WhatsApp la I will chase. Correct? They have gone to America, no? Just leave it. They have gone. What is the problem? But then I will chase in WhatsApp. This is what he is meaning. Relish. They have left. But what doesn't leave? Relish. For you continue to chase because of what? Yes. But then, what does sincere effort means? What does sincere effort means? What is sincerity in effort? You have to control. Correct. What is relish? Sincere effort. What is sincere effort? What is sincerity in the effort? Sincerity in the effort is this. How many ever times the fall happens, you will pull yourself back. That is sincerity in effort. That's all. How many ever times the fall happens, you can pull yourself up. This is called sincerity in effort. Result orientation in effort means I should do the effort. If I start putting the effort means what should happen? Fall should not happen and I should just grow like. You can't grow like that. Sincerity in effort is what? How much ever the fall happens, I pick myself up. This is called sincerity in effort. This is called tapas. This is called tapas. For what is accounted in it? In effort, the first thing that you account for in any effort is mistakes and falls. You have to account for it. The human greed will not allow that. The human greed cannot accept that. The human greed is so, I don't know what to call that. It cannot accept. It will not accept failures. It will not accept faults. It has to say, it has to be perfect. For always right. Correct. Always right. You can only put in an effort that right or wrong is not the determining factor. But the greed of the human mind always says, I am putting in effort, therefore it has to be. Sincerity goes away. For the first thing in an effort is, fall only. You get into swimming, first thing is you cannot float and go to the other side. You get into water, what will happen the first few weeks? You will sink, you will drown, looks like, From that, learning that in the swimming pool, they said dive. Where to dive? I was saying, knee popa, you go, you put all the fellows, go. And then, finally, when you are least prepared, the fellow will push you from outside. And you just go, and you think you are going to drown and die, that's all. Suddenly some hand will come and pick you up and you come out, Never you will want to get into water again. That is not sincerity in effort. That is result orientation. The fear of failure. Most of the time we don't make an effort because of the fear of failure. What is sincere effort means? You account for loss. You account for a fall. You account for a pain. Now there is no problem. That is sincere effort. That's why in the discipline, they teach this discipline. When the child goes for begging, in the olden days, when the child goes for begging and stand in front of a house asking, till an answer comes from that house, they have to stand in front of that house only. Yes or no. You follow what I am saying? You keep standing and keep asking. You can move only whether they say yes or they say we don't have anything in this house. Go to the next house now. You go. So beautifully it is written in that Jainist literature. Mahavira will go and stand in front of a house and the house will be locked. No one will be in that house. The house will be locked and he will not move to the next house. He will be standing there. The neighbors will go and say that man is standing in front of your house, you come and do something to him. You follow what? That is sincerity in effort. You keep doing till the yes or no. Ordinary wisdom is Once or twice you ask, no response, now go to the next. That is the signal beggary. Yeah, that's what they do, no? Every time you park your car in the signal, they also come and ask. 2 times they will ask. You say, no, they will go to the next. What is sincerity? Whatever car comes in front, you stand in front of that car and keep asking till the car moves away. You follow? Very difficult to be sincere. Why difficult it is to be sincere? The moment the idea of effort comes in, carefully follow, not the actual effort. The moment the idea of an effort comes in, before the idea of the result, before the idea of the effort settles in, the mind will shift to the enjoyment of the result. That takes away the sincerity away. You follow? That's why last class I said that so much of time I spent on that. Even before acquisition happens, the mind will shift to the enjoyment of the fruit even before. For this is the nature of the mind that takes the sincerity away. So all that he is saying is, if you are sincere in your effort, objects will leave. So the question is, what is sincere effort? That question will not come because I am already sincere, sir. What is your problem? Even you may not be very sincere in the way that I am sincere. You follow? What is sincere effort means? Fall will be there. The ego is bending there. Even if there is a fall, no sollakudadu. Yeah. Even if there is a fall, somehow avoid the fall. No, fall will be there. How can it not be there? How can it not be there? It has to be there. Fall will be there. But the fall doesn't discourage you. The fall doesn't scare you. The fall will not threaten you. That is sincerity. Opposite of that is how to avoid. Guarantee that I will not fall. Then I will guarantee that I will swim. I can learn swimming faster and better. Then I will enter into water. No, you will be permanently waiting for guarantee only. Swimming will never be. You follow the paradox? And when you enter into water, you do not know swimming. So when you are practicing control, you do not know how to control. As a result of which, what will happen? Falling, you will fall. The argument is, if I fall, it means I am not sincere, no? The argument is, if I fall, it means I am not sincere, no? What is the fallacy in the logic? The fallacy is like the child asking, if I get into water, I will start drinking water. No, water will go through the eyes, water will go through the ears, water will go through the nose. But then, you still have to come up, sneeze it out and then jump into water. Correct? Sincerity doesn't mean failure will not happen. One, this is very gross. This is very superficial. This is not philosophy. Philosophy starts after you cross the grossest layer. This is only philosophy. Idella elementary stuff. This is not philosophy. Effort knows no failure. That is philosophy. Effort will not fail. That's all. effort will never go waste. Effort will never fail. The greed for the fruit is even before the effort has done. Therefore, it looks like failure. You follow what I am saying? Effort will never fail. But where it looks like it's failing, the greed for the result, the greed for the fruit makes it appear like it is failing. You follow? Effort will never. So there is no such thing as wasted effort. All my efforts went in vain. That thing doesn't exist at all. For effort alone is possible. For effort alone is possible. The result is your interpretation. Effort is possible. The result is interpretation. You follow? See, Gautam Buddha was doing his ministry for 45 years. Take that example. In 45 years he could not convert one man. What a failure. Even school seems to be better, even the school produces better results than a Gautam Buddha. For at least school is able to produce a view. This man is not able to produce even, he is not even able to convince one man. Is it waste? Modern day thing will say it is a waste. At least வருஷத்துக்கு ஒரு 2 பேராவது வந்திருக்கணும் இல்லையா? At least two in a year percentage எல்லாம் you can put, and then you will say he is below zero in efficiency. Buddha is below zero in efficiency. All wise men are below zero in that. If you see effort, the proof of the effort is the result. If proof of the effort is the result, then no wise one is, actually speaking, we should not follow them at all. For they themselves are, we should not say that, for they are not failures. No, they didn't. Just because we are not able to lift ourselves up. You follow what I am saying? So, there is no such thing as failure. It appears to be a failure because of what? Because of what? The result orientation didn't allow you to do the right effort. It appears as a failure because the result orientation didn't allow you to put in the right effort. For a man who has done the sincere effort, that sincerity itself is satisfying. The sincerity itself has experienced success. You follow? The sincerity itself is so satisfying. Where is failure? You follow? Therefore, you practice control, you will slip. When you are practicing control, you will slip. That doesn't make the effort any sincere. For the logic is, only if I develop sincerity, I can put in the effort and not fall. If I am falling means I am not sincere. Where do you start? Where does one start? It's like the child waiting. Yeah. It's like the child waiting. What is the child waiting for? I will do something, develop the strength, and then get into water and swim across. It doesn't work like that. For it has to get into. When you are getting into an effort, that's where courage is required. When you are getting into effort, when you are jumping into water, there is the courage. What is the courage? Logically speaking, you getting drowned is 50%. Correct? You are jumping into water. Logically, if you analyze, you getting drowned is 50%. You can learn swimming and become the world's best swimmer is also 50%. Which one are you going to take? That determines whether you will be successful or a failure. You follow? Philosophy is this. The law of life is this. Effort will not go vain. There is no such thing as wasted effort. The farmer is ploughing the field when the sun is beating him down. No guarantee of the rain that is going to come. He can't even ask the weatherman also. Tamil Nadu weatherman. Naanu follow pandra. Just to, you can't ask him, tell me 3 months before what will happen, so that accordingly I will decide whether to. Otherwise, why? He has to get into the field and plough the field and then wait. The man who has done the right effort will have no problems in waiting. The person who has not done the right effort will be agitated, for he knows that he has not done anything, but the greed has come for the result. Therefore, he will be constantly asking, Kandipa nadandanulla, it will come for sure, no? It will work for sure, no? You follow? And yet, the farmer has to plough and wait. Rains may not come, more rains may come and destroy the thing. Look at that challenge. That's why I say farmers are more courageous than all the business school products. For no certainty at all. For they have to wait, not knowing whether rains will come. Sometimes rains will come, but it will destroy the whole thing. Or rains will be right, animals will come and how much of effort goes into reaping that harvest of grains. Carefully follow. How much of effort has gone into reaping that harvest of grains, and then take that grain and put it in the fire and say, Na mama. Take that and then put it into that fire and say, Na mama. They know what life is. They know how to live life. With all the advancement of science and technology, we don't know how to live. You follow what I am saying? That is effort. After doing all that, take that and put it in the fire. And then to say, Na? How can you say Na mama? When you have gone through that much of, when you feel like saying mama only and protecting it only. Allah na mama Allah we'll see later. But first let us keep it. Yeah. There is sincerity. What is sincerity? Remember that farmer culminating in yajna. Start with the effort there and culminate it in yajna. Then you will understand the entire sequence. That's why in the 15th chapter, even in the 3rd chapter, again in the 15th chapter, he uses agricultural metaphor. For the uncertainty is so clear there. Where will he get the motivation to? Where he will get that motivation to do that? Where is he going to get that? But then, that is what is known as sincere effort. Sincerity in effort is the knowledge and wisdom that you have gained, where you have where you have known how to enjoy the doing. Effort always implies doing is painful, result is going to be enjoyable, no? The word effort has a problem. The word effort always has the problem. What is it? Doing is painful, fruit is enjoyable. That's why we quickly want to stop the doing and look for enjoyment. The highest is this. That is yajna karma. That is the highest. That person has known how to act. He has learned the technique of action. What? He has enough knowledge. He has enough wisdom where he enjoys the doing itself. From the fruit, it has shifted to the doing and unconcerned about the fruit. That's how a Gautam Buddha acts. That's how a Shankaracharya will act. That's why any enlightened master acts. You follow? So, they talk about sincerity, telling the whole world, none of you are sincere. We get very offended. We turn back and say, konjamaadu recognize panni, at least why can't you say I am 30% sincere? At least little bit of leverage you can say, at least Sunday morning I am sincere. No. Something you want. You follow? Sincere effort. What is sincere effort? Seriya? Huh? What? Yes, you had something. Correct.
Something has left me, maybe it's their problem. But from the start, it is my problem that I have been holding on to it. So either way, without demand also, I'm still holding it. Still then it is, the hold is there.
Did you hear? Rajkumar? Kekkala illa? Enakkum kekkala. I also didn't hear. And most of the time we should answer only without hearing the question. Then only it will work. At the end of the elaborate discourse, she was saying, from the beginning, where is the leaving? For I am the one who is holding on to it. Where is the object? Leaving. It looks like you can never leave it at all. It appears to be where you can't leave anything at all. Since I am constantly demanding, follow the logic. Since I am constantly demanding, what will happen? The object will not leave at all. I am holding on to it. Because of me holding on to it, because of the demand, object also will not leave. There is a fallacy here. What is the fallacy? Where is the fallacy? The whole thing, the entire process will start only when you demand the higher. When you start demanding the higher, first thing that happens is the object will leave. Second thing that will leave is the relish. Object leaving itself is a very big relief. For to that extent you don't have to do any work from outside. You know that you can spend all your time and effort inside. That itself is a very big relief. Otherwise, you have to do two things. You have to attend to the object and you have to attend to Your own self. How can you do both? It's not possible. Therefore, first thing is what? Nature helps. When you move towards the divinity, nature helps. That's why in the Bhakti tradition they say, you take one step, I take 10 steps towards you. The nature helps. What does the nature help means? I start demanding the higher. What does demanding the higher means? What does demanding the higher means? A dissatisfaction with the present. Understanding the futility of your current, at your current level, wherever you are, you understand the futility of that. That's all. That's what is known as demanding the higher. For you cannot simply say, I want self-realization, I want self-realization, I want Brahman, I want God. You can't keep. So what does demand means? You can't keep asking like that. For you do not know anything of that. So what are you actually demanding? What are you actually doing? You understand the limitations of, you understand the limitation of your current level. You understand the futility of your current existence. That's all. That will inspire you to seek something higher, better, nobler. When we say higher, it's subtler by nature. It's subtler. Therefore, you follow? Therefore, the starting point is the effort that you make to understand the futility of the present, whatsoever your present is. Sudama was understanding the futility of his present. Janaka was understanding the futility of his present. Sudama wasn't sitting and analyzing the futility of Janaka. Are you able to understand the difference? There are two characters, Sudama and Janaka. Sudama is the beggar. He had nothing in life. Janaka is the king. Both were understanding the futility. Sudama was understanding the futility of his level. Janaka was understanding the futility of his level. Are you able to follow? Are you following? The mistake is Sudama will sit and analyze the futility of Janaka. That will never help. That's why we always sit and analyze about the rest. No, you have to analyze the futility. You have to analyze and understand the futility at your level. For that's what you are demanding. That's where you are stuck. Sudama's growth is not in first becoming rich and then understanding the futility. Janaka's growth is not in becoming a pauper and then understand. You follow? Sudama has to work, taking the poverty as real, the pain of poverty as real and understand. Janaka has to take the availability of the indulgences, the availability of the objects, and how quickly he is bored with all that, and he has to work through that. You follow what I am saying? Therefore, sincere effort means trying to understand the futility at one's level. And everyone has enough at their level itself to understand the futility. For at their level itself, everyone has so much of bondage, so much of attachment to work. For we don't need to go anywhere else. We don't have to search for anything else. At our level itself, we have enough. What is sincerity? At my level, there is an agitation. At my level, there is a disturbance. Understand it like that. Sudama has to understand the futility of his poverty itself is futile, sir. What is there to understand that? And it's very easy to understand Janaka discussing about the futility of, you follow? And yet, Sudama also has to understand the futility of what? Not Janaka's wealth, nor he has to first become as rich as Janaka and then start understanding. No, it will never happen. At your level, you can understand. This is called demanding the higher. The moment you demand the higher like this, what will drop? First thing that goes away, the disturbances from the external will stop. The Shanti Pata that we do at the end of the invocation, we say Shanti. We have to shout like that. Yeah. Kunja sound potale, we are so worried. And all we have to say Shanti, Shanti, Shanti again. First thing is Shanti, meaning the external disturbances quietens down. First thing that will happen is the external disturbance will quieten away, will move away. What is the external disturbance? The object and the being. They will leave. He is not saying you will leave. He is saying they will leave. We think we have to leave and run away. No. He is saying no, you don't have to leave and run away. You be here. They will go away. Urvarugamiva bandhanat. That's the law of growth. How growth happens? Urvarukam iva. Urvarukam, the Sanskrit word Urvarukam. English it is correct, cucumber. Like a cucumber, get detached. That's all. How growth happens? The most famous Vedic mantra. It's called Mahamrityunjaya mantra. You say that you will conquer death. People are saying nothing is happening, saying that only people are dying. In the neighbor's house, 5 o'clock in the morning, at least previously, now you can't open the door till 6:30 now. 5 o'clock in the morning, the speaker is going on. Trayambakam, that's again, and so irritating to that noise. Urvarukamiva bandhanat. Like an urvarukam, you get detached. Like a cucumber. Urvarukam means cucumber. What is cucumber practicing detachment? What is the nature of that? Wonderful is that example. Extraordinary example. How growth happens? How growth happens? See, the cucumber is the creeper. It's a creeper. It's on the ground. It grows on the ground. One. Second is, it's so matured that it always looks like it is sticking. You go near and pick it up, then only you will know that it got detached long back. Unless you pick it up, you will never know that it is detached. For even to naked eyes, it looks like it is attached. The tree is standing in the same position, the fruits are dropping. In this case, the tree is moving, this has got detached. Are you able to understand the difference? Objects leave you and they keep going away. You don't do anything. Opposite of that is, objects are there and you have to run away. That's why he is saying, objects leave you. When you start practicing control, you don't leave the objects for practicing control. The object will leave you. Correct? Opposite of that is, object is there, you have to run away. But wherever you run away, you will create another object. Therefore, running away doesn't solve anything. Instead, you stay put in the same place. The tree is growing. The tree is moving. Because it's a creeper, the tree is moving. It remains in the same place. The principle of growth. What is it? You don't leave the object leaves you. You don't leave the being leaves you. If it is a disturbance to your growth. Who decides that? You don't decide that. You leave it to the divinity to take care of that. What do you do from your side? Sincere effort. In what? Sincere effort in what? Understanding the futility of your present. This is called mumukshatva. This is called mumukshatva. Things are not bad around you. Things are not, it's not that you are disturbed, then you try for mumukshatva and all. More or less things are alright around you. More or less. There will never be a 100% state. When things are more or less alright around you, you start through knowledge and understanding, you understand the limitation of it. You understand the futility of it. What you are seeking is not in that. Means the object and being will leave you. The object and being will leave you. Like children, when they fall in love, you tell them don't contact, don't do this, don't do that. And then they say, but they are contacting and disturbing, what will I do? Children talk that language, you follow? As an adult, what do you understand? As an adult, what do you understand? You will not go and fight with that child. For what do you understand as an adult? Are you able to follow? There is a child at home, fallen in love with the useless neighboring thing. You know that it's not helpful, and you want to help the child, and you say don't contact. The child will turn back and say, I am not contacting, but he is disturbing. Switch off the phone, come out of the WhatsApp, come out of the Facebook. Idallam solution, na? You follow what I am saying? As an adult, what do you understand? As an adult, what do you understand? No parent can understand this. For they are all so convinced that other person is disturbing. No parent can accept that. No parent can understand that. For everyone is so convinced that the other is disturbing. For our fundamental belief in life is disturbances is always from the other. Environment is the disturbing factor. Environment is the cause. Correct. And the child saying that reinforces your ignorance. Yeah. And you think you are wise. As an adult, what do you understand? Or what are you supposed to understand? Your child is also demanding. That's why it's there. If you can understand that, you will know how to solve it. Otherwise, you have to go and pick a fight with the. Are you able to follow what I am saying? For we are so fundamentally convinced. For the problem is always with the environment. That's why whenever you want to practice withdrawal, control, we always ask about the. Immediately the question will go to the other, for which he is saying the first step, the other will not come and disturb you. The other will not come and disturb you, for you have expressed your interest elsewhere. For you have expressed your interest elsewhere. I told the girl, I am interested in the boy, but I don't want this association relationship anymore. What do I do? I said, okay, in front of me, call the person and say, I have found interest in another boy. You don't say, don't trouble me. That will not work. Say, I have found my interest in another boy. Unless the demand is, unless you have expressed your disinterest. How will you express your disinterest? I am interested in something else. I am interested in something else. Demonstrate that. How would you demonstrate that? By saying, this is what I am asking, what I am seeking, what I am wanting is not in this. Are you able to follow? This is how you grow in life. This is how growth happens. That's why he always says, renunciation means taking up, not giving up. Million times you have heard that. Renunciation means taking up, not giving up. Express your interest elsewhere. By expressing your interest elsewhere, you have demonstrated your disinterest here. They will leave you and go. That's all the law is. Are you able to follow? That's all he is saying. Express by demonstrating that you are interested elsewhere, you are demonstrating your disinterest. Yeah. As a result of which the other also, the other might cry for 1 week, but nevertheless they will leave and go. Why? You are not. Therefore, conclusion. First verse. Fantastic verses these verses are. Fantastic step by step he is taking. First thing is what? How to make sure that environmental disturbances are taken away. How to do that? How to attain that? Express your disinterest. How will you express your disinterest? By demonstrating your interest has shifted. Demonstrate that. But that will be hurtful to them, no? Finished. That's all. Go back. Go and sit with them only. For you are still in demand of that. What you are saying is, I will get detached, I will become a Gautam Buddha, and everyone must recognize that, certify that. They all should not get offended. They should take you in the Pushpaka Vimanam. You follow what I am saying? That's where we fail. Show your interest elsewhere. Now immediately you will come back and say, but that is being very selfish, no? Correct? That is being very selfish, no? How can I leave them like that? For I have to be grateful to them also. Somewhere down the line, we will know how to get stuck. That's all. We will know how not to move away from where we are stuck. Arguments is, you will quote all the Vedanta, all the Bhagavad Gita, everything. You only said, no sir, gratitude has to be there, service has to be there. Anyway, object doesn't disturb. It's only the mind that is disturbing. Krishna can't talk beyond a point. That's why he says, Ya Pashyati. What can you do? Yeah. Our in a weekly class, Vara meet Pandra. Ya Pashyati. Whoever sees it, sees it. What do you see? What do you see? If you express your interest elsewhere, this will not disturb you. The moment you express your interest elsewhere, this will not disturb you. For you have to show your disinterest to the present. That is mumukshatva. How do you express your disinterest to the present? By saying you are useless. No. By saying, don't come and disturb me. No. How? Express your interest elsewhere. Shift your interest elsewhere. How many times he has given this example? A seeker goes to the Maulavi asking him for advice for growth. And he was transplanting the seed from one place to the other place. He was doing. And he kept on asking, he kept on and doing. In the evening he got so irritated, the seeker told him, I am asking you from the morning, why don't you say something? The Maulavi turned back and said, I have been teaching you from the morning, you didn't see it, what can I do? What? Transplant. Take it from here and put it there. When you have to take it from here and put it there, don't worry about this. For the divinity will take care. You don't have to worry about this. But what will happen to them? You don't have to worry. Who will take care? Anyway, who was taking care all along? Out of your foolishness and ignorance, you are thinking that you are taking care. Now that you have become wise, you leave it to the real controller, you leave it to the real guiding factor, and you go and do what you are supposed to do. What are you supposed to do? Transplant. What does transplanting means? Shift. Okay? That's how sincerity works. When you are shifting, result orientation will come. Even before shifting, the mind will go to what you are saying is correct, no? Is it an effective method? Are you sure that it will work? And then the mind will go to enjoy the fruit of it. What is the fruit of it? Oh, I will be free, no? I will be happy, no? God only knows whether you will be happy attaining self-realization or not. God only knows whether you will be suffering or happy. But you need to transplant. You follow? When you do that, the first thing is the objects and beings will leave you. When you say objects and beings leaving you, don't take it in a very negative sense. Don't take it in they will stop disturbing you. That's the divine support. Where you are sincere in your evolution, no force on earth will stop. Once you experience this, a conviction comes. What is the conviction? Disturbing forces is not the environment. Disturbing force is your demand. Then you start working from a different level altogether. You follow what I am saying? When you abstain from indulgences, the objects will leave you alone, but not the relish. Even that relish will leave you on seeing the Supreme. Upon realization, even the relish will leave you. So, for all practical purposes, what do you have to do? Express your disinterest. Express your disinterest. How can you express your disinterest? By showing your interest has shifted elsewhere. That's all. When you show your interest has shifted elsewhere, they will not disturb. Like you are also drinking, you are also part of the drinking club, and then you decided that you will not drink. First 2 weeks they will tell you what? All this will not work. How many times I have tried? I still remember that person couldn't control the laughter. He's saying, this is the last and final time I am taking the vow of brahmacharya, he said. I have taken the vow of brahmacharya 9 times and failed. This is the last and couldn't control the. You follow? You follow what does it mean? He is not yet. He is the one who is chasing them. They are not the one who is chasing him. Instead of saying that, instead of realizing that, he is saying they are still there. 2 weeks you stop drinking, they will say, all this will not work. How many times I have tried. Ore life tha reserve. You have only one life, and this life also don't waste in. That's why you should not go for all these Vedanta classes and all. They will unnecessarily confuse you. Not that they are giving you any joy or anything, but they will make you confused and agitated. Why do all that? Come back and sing. You say no. You say no. They will stop. Inviting, Shankar. Correct, no? Yes or no? Yes, correct. They will stop inviting. If they are still inviting, you are sending thoughts to them. What? You are sending thoughts. What? Invite me. You are sending thoughts. By the law of demand and supply, they will invite you, and then you say, they invited, what can I do? They invited because you are asking them to invite. You know that, no? Invitation comes to you only when you want to be invited. Otherwise, no invitation comes. Say, I don't want any invitation, it will not come. From an abstinent man, sense objects turn away. You don't run away, the sense objects run away from an abstinent man, but not the relish. Even his relish turns away on seeing the Supreme. Meaning, the second step now. First is the sense. First to deal with the sense objects and the sense control. Now comes dealing with the relish part. Then he takes off from a different angle. To how to handle the relish, he takes off from a different. First thing is he saying, let us deal with the. What do you do? Be sincere. What does sincere effort means? Express your disinterest. How can you express your disinterest? By demonstrating that your interest lies elsewhere. But it will be painful to them, no. But it will be hurtful to them, no. It means go back and supposing if the child says, if the boy or the girl says, but if I say that the other person will get hurt, what do I do? Now get married and suffer. The law is very simple. The law is very clear. But our human mind is so foolish in nature, ignorant in nature, it will want the improbables. It will want the impossibilities. What is the impossibilities? Without relinquishing anything, it wants to experience the effects of relinquishment. One, it will not give up anything, but it will want to become a Shankaracharya. Ramatirtha says, he put it very simply. Everyone wants to become a Jesus Christ. Who doesn't want to become a Jesus Christ? Everyone wants to become a Jesus Christ. But the price you have to pay to become Jesus Christ is crucifixion is the price. And when the price is told, everyone backs up and says, is there any other method? He says there is no other. You want to become Jesus Christ, crucifixion is the, and get crucified. It's worth getting crucified. For you will see the Supreme. For you will experience the Supreme. Okay?
சொல்லி போயிட்டு போகலாமா?
உங்களோட வந்து உங்களோட வந்து
கொண்டு
எஸ் எஸ்